3 million years ago, there was a small village that was getting terrorized by a huge lizard. The villagers were living in fear with no technology or weapons to take it down and protect their family. All they had was a small sword and shield made out of wood to hunt small animals, but useless for such big monsters. It couldn't output enough reach and damage. The monster came once a day to take its daily portion of human meat. One night, the village chat had an idea. He modified the sword in that way to be able to charge up energy and storing that energy inside its shield. Sword and shield combined will form an axe, for more reach and also able to discharge all the power that was stored in a single blow. And this was the beginning of a new era, the invention of the charge blade, the Anga Banga and Alpha Caveman Age. Hey Catgangers, DEVA here with another exciting video obviously. I know there is a lot of guides, but they're more than a year old and pretty outdated. We've learned so much new stuff, but as well got a lot of skills in new weapon mechanics. Today we will cover one of the most complex and hardest weapons ever. This guide will help you to understand better charge blade mechanics, combos, new Iceborne moves, and impressing all the e-girls. As well the difference between element and impact files, the skills a charge blade must have, and how to decide for a build or playstyle you should go for. Here is a picture with all the timestamps if you want to skip to the part where you need help, but I would recommend you to watch the whole video since it supports me, but as well you may learn something new you didn't know about it. Alright, so you guys probably now will hear a background noise, which I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's my turbo PS4 jet engine vacuum cleaner. So, and I have to have my PS4 open because I'm playing live right now, and basically I can't script that. I need to actually be playing to explain you how to charge blade. So if you know how to charge blade, feel free to skip this part. I'll try to cover the background noise with some new music, but probably can't help it much, I'm sorry. Alright, so first thing you want to do is to charge up your files. There is yellow and orange charge. Orange will charge all your files up and yellow will charge up only 3. So you start off by triangle, hold circle, and triangle. This is the fastest basic charge. To load the files into your shield, you just hold R2 and press circle. You can press at the same time R2 and circle, but it's best if you just, you have to get used to the moves. So let's go again, just triangle, hold circle, let go, and triangle. This is the fastest way, it's basically 4 hits. So to have that faster move, you need focus. Focus does not only increase your file charging rate, but also this move. Because this move is a charging move. So you can charge way faster with this. Okay, so next thing you want to do is to store your files into your shield. Because you need your shield to gain 1 point of guard and also be able to SAD. If you don't know what guard is, it's basically the skill that reduces your knockback. So if you see all the people using guard 1, because you gain level 2 from just having your shield, 1 level free guard, and a 3rd level from guard point, but I will go later to guard point. So there is attack that require 3, but there is attacks that require 5 guard. So basically you would need 3 guards, but anything more than 3 is just overkill. You don't need more than 3. So to store your files into the shield, it's really simple. You just go triangle, triangle and circle, and cancel with R2. Okay? So reload files, R2 and circle, and then again triangle, triangle plus circle, R2. This is how you store your shield. Now this lasts about 3 minutes, I think, for every file about 30 seconds, so 3 minutes 30 if I'm not wrong. And once you have your shield charged, you can also charge your sword. So just do what you do on reloading, but let the circle go. And then press triangle. Let circle go and hold triangle. And this is how you charge this, the sword, basically. So R2, circle, hold triangle. You must let go of the circle when you press triangle. R2, circle, hold triangle, and you're charged. So this does not only gives you extra file damage and increased damage, but as well has natural mind's eye. This basically means you can be at red sharpness and not bouncing on monsters, because mind's eye is a skill that doesn't allow you to bounce basically. So you can freely hit even with red sharpness. It's really important to charge everything up. Okay, so we can move to more sword combos before we go to the AD stuff. So you can do the backslide. It's really simple. You just press circle after any attack. After any attack, you can press circle to slide. You can choose the direction you slide with the left stick or right stick, whatever. So nice. Triangle, slide with circle and stick. Triangle, start with... This is good to reposition or dodge attacks, basically. So the next is a sidestep. Basically this works as well after any triangle attack. Even after circle attacks. It basically works after any attack. You just have to do an attack and then tap X and the direction you want with the stick. So triangle, X and right. Triangle, X and left. And after the sidestep you can press triangle for this spinning slash. So triangle, X, triangle. This is a good damaging move if you wanna do like you dodging from the monster and then just slashing it, you know. As well, if you start with this combo, you will be at yellow files when you don't have pre-charge. So when you start like this on the monster, you're at yellow. So you sidestep and slash. That's how you get the fourth hit without to lose any time. Okay, let's recharge the shield now. Shield thrust and cancel with R2 basically. Reload files and we can go to the AD now. So this is basically the base combo, the shield thrust, that you want to do your AD's shield thrust and everything. So triangle, triangle and circle, you know. And then you press triangle, triangle and circle and hold your stick back. You have to pull your stick back right when your axe mode is on your back. So basically I will show you why I'm doing it. Triangle, triangle plus circle, hold stick back, exactly there. You can even tap the stick back, but you have to press triangle as well, so basically triangle and back. So since we have a charge shield, we can do an SAD now, basically. So we store the files in. Let's charge the sword too, because why not? And to do an SID, you basically do again triangle, shield thrust, and shield thrust again, triangle and circle, 2 times basically. And you can also aim your SID. So I'm going to do it once without aiming, just let it naturally go. And you know, the SID will exactly go where your character is looking at, and a little bit to the left because it shoots from the left arm. So I'm going recharge. And let's say this is a monster and you're actually aiming there, but you turn your camera a little bit and then you can... Okay, we lost the shield now. Let's do it again. But you saw you can even aim for the AD. So this is a monster and you're a little bit off. So you do SID combo and then turn your stick to the left, and you see we also turn about 30 degrees. So I think it's about 45 degrees what you can turn, if not less. But this is really important to know. So with Iceborne we got introduced new moves, but before we go into that I will show you the guard point. So you know, guard points, I don't know what people find hard on guard points. Guard points are very simple, guys. It's basically guarding, but instead of pressing just R2, you press triangle. The thing is, it goes into this animation if you press both. If you press triangle and R2, it goes into this animation. So the monster must hit you before this animation ends. So basically when your sword is inside your shield, and this is a pretty big window, it's about it's a whole second almost. So you just stay calm, and when the monster is about to hit you, you tap both buttons. So let's try it with this with a bomb. The bomb is pretty you see? Triangle and circle. Sorry, triangle and R2. Let's do it again. You can train this at the bomb, even though the bomb is way harder, because you have to get used to when it explodes. It actually doesn't explode when it's full down. You have to get used to the bomb. So R2 and triangle to guard point. So wait. R2 and triangle, guard point. And you see I got reduced knockback. I'm not sure how much knockback the bomb gives you, but I'm sure without shield. See, normal guard had a bigger knockback. So the thing is, when you have not much knockback, you can go into an instant SAD with pressing triangle and circle. This is basically how you counter SAD. Just triangle and then counter SAD. We have no files now, but that's basically a really good counter move, because you're mostly going to have an opening, especially if you use Rock Sedimental. So let's go to the Savage Axe mode now. You actually don't need charge shield for Savage Axe, but I always do recommend you to charge the shield, because, you know, 1 point of guard and reduce knockback and everything. Just charge your shield, guys. So we're going again into the shield thrust animation, but this time you press Alt2 to cancel it instead of R2. So this and Alt2. Or L2, whatever you call it. So we have you can see a charged axe. This is basically nothing but a charged sword. It does file damage, it does more ticks, and also has Mind's Eye, so you don't bounce off. And the moves are basically the same. So you can pull your axe out, and then you can triangle for up and triangle again for down. Circle once for a simple axe hit from sideways, and if you press circle twice, it does a whole swing, which wastes 2 files. So if you do this, the double circle, you can keep pressing circle and pull your stick back for an instant AD. Basically, you can go into an AD. So the optimal combo mostly is circle, triangle, circle, triangle, infinite combo. You know, when the monster is down, you're just gonna press 1 circle and 1 triangle. And when the monster is about to get up, you do a cancel SAD, basically an AED. And if you move forwards and you see the monster in the distance and have your axe out, to reposition you just move forwards basically and press triangle. It does this, and it's really good for repositioning on axe mode. But you move very slow with axe mode, if you see. So you either press R2 to go back into shield mode, sword and shield mode, and then pull your axe again out, or just do this. So other ways of charging, instead of doing the triangle, you can just press circle and shield thrust, circle. This overcharges your files, so be careful not to bounce off, because if your files are overcharged, you're going to bounce off. Now we're not going, because we have a natural Mind's Eye, you see, even though a lot of people don't know this. When you overcharge, you have increased attack speed, because it removes the hit lag that console gives you. So basically, you can spam triangle and triangle plus circle the whole time with an increased attack speed. I will show you the difference. Look how fast, and look all the damage. So many file explosions with this. It's incredible. I did on my channel speedruns, or just creative runs, by only using this. So you see we have no charged sword anymore and we're bouncing off. So we're going to recharge the sword and I will show you how much slower it is without this. You see the game kind of lags basically because there is so many attacks. I'm pressing it as fast as I can. But when you overcharge, it goes faster because, like I said, it removes the hit lag. It's almost twice as fast. But also drains a shitload of sharpness, so let's sharpen. I'm not sure, I can't confirm this, but I think having charged sword, axe mode, I think does more SAD damage. But it's not worth because you're mostly gonna lose files. Because when you have charged axe mode, you're losing files over time. So if you just stand there, you're going to lose your files. You see? One less. Alright. Let's actually confirm it. Okay, so charged axe is 113. Let's see how much without charged axes. 113. Okay, it doesn't increase, but maybe it was only for impact files. I'm not sure. So we're going to come later to what impact files and power element files do. What I can say, since it's kind of belongs to the moveset, the AD on impact files is the best option to build up KO damage, because impact files do KO damage and you get all those explosions on the head and it does a huge build up on KO. So the monster is going to get knocked out with 1 or 2 ADs the first time. Then the threshold increases, but you can still get easily a second KO by doing that. Let's talk about the difference between impact and elemental files now. I will mention first that files do not crit. It's a fixed amount of base damage. Impact files do scale only from roll damage, and the higher you base roll, the higher the damage will be. There is also the foot skill failing bombardier at the canteen, which gives you about 10% increase on your file damage, and you can go get up to 50% from artillery skill. Offensive guard is also a huge boost, but we will come later back to all skills explained one by one. Attack boost and other raw increase skills will make no or minimal difference on your file damage. For example, 7 attack boost will be like 3 more file damage, which is pretty useless. Impact files do also KO damage, which means you can get ADs on the monster set to get much more controlled and scripted fight. So files will do a fixed amount of damage since they ignore hit zone values and are basically like bombs. It can vary from monster to monster since every monster has different enrage multipliers. This means when a monster gets agitated, they take for example 5% to 20% more overall damage, so anything not just files will increase. Therefore, impact files are the best option to use in Guiding Lens, so you don't have to switch for every monster, but as well something you can use if you really want to have one charge blade build for everything. Power element files do scale only from your weapon's elemental damage, so you have to prioritize getting it as high as possible with a level 6 elemental skills, element up augments or Namiel set bonus. In the most cases they will outdamage impact files, but it's really hits on value dependent. I will explain more of when and why to use this later in the video. There is a lot of skills that must be used on Charge Blade and a lot that it benefits from. The Soroth reset bonus will allow you to go instead of 3 artillery for level 5 artillery. This is only going to be used on impact file builds. Artillery 5 gives you an insane amount of 50% increase on your impact file damage. You can gain another 10% file damage from the canteen skill failing bombardier. You should always eat for this when you go impact files. Offensive guard is a new skill that gives you an insane amount of 15% raw damage, so it's only useful for impact files. It will increase all of your melee but as well file damage. To activate it, you must do an almost frame perfect guard. It doesn't have to be a guard point, but you have to press your guard button right before the monster hitbox is going to hit you. I'm not sure how long it stays, but it should be around 20 to 30 seconds. You should always take advantage from it and try to activate it on purpose instead of dodging, since you mostly can do straight after an SAD combo and the files will do a shitload of damage. Focus level 3 is a must-have skill for SID gameplay. It will charge up your files in 4 hits, and also it increases your attack speed on the slash charge. Without focus it goes really slow and is not only annoying but dangerous as well. The Damascus chest piece is perfect for this skill. For the Savage Axe gameplay I skipped the skill because there is no way to fit it in for a max damage build and we don't require a lot of charging anyways. Capacity boost will increase your files by 1. This means more damage and longer charge shield, axe and sword mode. For example, if you charge up your shield with 5 files, it will save for 3 minutes and with 6 files for about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I could be wrong with this since I didn't test, but it should be around that. Crit die to increase your critical chance by 40%. This is not only for Savage Axe gameplay useful. A lot of people are very wrong when they say SID gameplay doesn't need crit. They have absolutely no idea about Charge Blade. The way to charge up to the SID, and during the SID the melee hits will do as much damage if not more damage than the files itself. So on a pure SID gameplay, at least 50% of the damage you will be doing during the fight comes still from your melee attacks. Don't sleep on that, guys. Weakness exploit level 3 for another 50% crit chance on tenderized parts, really important skill as well. Crit boost 3 will increase only your critical raw damage from 125% to 140%. So with a 100% crit build melee attacks from the SIDs, you're going to demolish the monster heads. Handicraft increases your raw and elemental damage by a huge amount. Sharpness is legit there for damage increase and not for not bouncing. Here is a picture made by Jinjinx, I think, of how much that is. Protective polish will allow you to not lose sharpness for 60 seconds after sharpening, regardless of how many attacks or guards you're doing. Master's Touch is a must-have skill on Savage Axe gameplay, since it drains a shitload of sharpness for a single swing. Every time you land a critical hit you will not lose any sharpness. So if you have a 100% crit chance you basically have infinite amount of sharpness. Even though it's really hard with Savage Axe to snipe parts and not crit always if you miss weak spots, it's still your best bet. Critical Element will increase your elemental crit damage, so this skill can be used only on Savage Axe gameplay. Raw damage doesn't need the skill to deal critical damage. Critical hits of raw damage are always 125% without crit boost. Critical hits of the elemental part of your damage do always the same damage without the skill. Namiel's Divinity is a new skill that came with Iceborne and will give you 150 flat elemental damage. This is a huge increase on your power element files SID gameplay. It activates by continuously attacking a monster and stays for about a minute. It's really simple to trigger, as you can see here. You simply do a combo, charge up your files and shield, and it's already activated. You should always pay attention for it to be active before you fire an SID. Guard level 1 is mostly all you need to receive 0 knockback. You gain 1 level of guard from charge shield and 1 from guard pointing. So you're at level 3 already, which is required for the most monster attacks. On some attacks you will need guard level 5 to receive no knockback, so 3 from the skill and 2 from your weapon mechanics. The skill wasn't working in the base game. Glad Capcom took only 1 year to fix this. You will still get knockback from some attacks even though you had guard 5. Agitator is a nice skill if you have space for it. It will give you a decent raw damage increase and up to 10% affinity. Guard up allows you to block any attack in the game and is a comfort skill if you can't avoid or dodge an attack like Teostra Supernova, Volcana's Ice Beam, pin attacks and many more. So here is the big question: when are you supposed to use Savage Axe build and when an SID build? Remember, we have Sora's set bonus on Impact SID builds, Master's Touch and Crit Element on Savage Axe builds, and Namiel's set bonus on Elemental SID builds. To decide that on your own, you should at least know what hit zone values are, because Hunter Notes shows only stars, which is complete bullshit and won't help you if you need to know the monster's weakness. For example, let's have a look on Diablos. His whole body has an insane amount of ice hit zone value. This means even if the files from the SID don't hit the part you want, it still will do 200 to 300 damage. Now on Xenogear Hunter Notes it shows that it's a 3-star weak ice monster, but his hit zones are actually pretty garbage. The only decent hit zones are the head and the forelegs, which is pretty hard to aim for. It has less elemental weakness than Diablo's, so it will take of course less file damage, and if files go somewhere else than his head or forelegs, the damage will be trash. So here you should go for Savage Axe since you can snipe parts more easily. So basically elemental SAD gameplay for monsters with a really high average weakness on the whole body, so at 20 plus, but as well a high elemental charge blade stats. The Ice and Dragon charge blade are mostly the only ones that can reach super high element. Anything else, Savage Axe or monsters that love to move a lot like Odogaron and you can barely get an opening to SAD. I have an extremely good video that will help you a lot to decide what build you go for, and I will link it down in the description. If you need info about all monsters' hit zone values, you can join our Discord server, which is also linked in the description. You can simply type a command with the monster's name and it will instantly show you everything you need to